WJG Sports. We journal great.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Just Like Brothers podcast here, episode 48. We are here with one of the great, charismatic football coaches in the WJG area, Tim Bray. What's going on, Coach?
What's going on, man? What's going on, fella?
Of course, Coach Ray is a NC Central alum, the head football coach at Goldsboro High School, and he was an interim at first and then became the permanent head coach this past season and has led them to the playoffs both times, correct?
Yeah, we went playoffs both years, yeah.
So, Coach, we'll get right into it, man. What was the 2019 season like for your team with everything with all the adversity and injuries and stuff like that? What were some of the good parts about the 2019 season?
One thing about our guys, man, they have a lot of character, and I always tell them adversity builds character. Of course, like you said, the injury last year with Jamin breaking his collarbone, it kind of took a little air out of everybody. Especially happens right at the beginning of the season. Everybody's all excited, and then that happens. It kind of took a little air out of everybody, but they regrouped well. They regrouped well after Newburn got it together. Started putting some trust into Deontay, who he just got thrown in the fire. Like I tell him all the time, his first varsity reps, his first quarterback reps in high school was as a varsity starter. Year before he was JV's running back, and he would have been JV's starting quarterback this year. So he didn't get that opportunity to build, as a JV player. He got thrown right in and then played against Newburn, who lost 2 games. You mean? It's tough. It's tough as a 10th grader playing against a team that caliber. You know what I mean? So, but he bounced back pretty good.
Right now, of course, you guys had a lot of close games. Of course, the one against Eastern Wayne, and then the one against CB Aycock. Man, what was it like? As a coach, trying to maintain your calm in those fired moments?
Every year I've been here, for some reason, that Goldsboro Eastern Wayne game, I don't know what it is. It's a good game. It's a really good game. My first year, they won by a field goal right there in the last few seconds. And then, we win with the touchdown right there in the last 11 seconds or so. So both those years, their rivalry has lived up to the name. You know what I mean? And like I tell you, any rival, no matter how good or how bad a team's supposed to be, you never know the rival game. You never know what might motivate a team, or that team might come out flat. Those rival games, man, you just got to come out and play. So I enjoyed the Eastern Wayne rival. At first I was just telling the guys it's just another game, but I understand now that they really do take the Goldsboro Eastern Wayne game pretty serious.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest crowds I think I've seen all year long.
Yeah, that game is always packed. Everybody in the borough's gonna be there, But like I tell the boys all the time, and we address every game the same way. We address it to go out there and win. You know what I mean? No matter who's playing. Like I tell them, I say, I don't care if my nephew try to do a layup, I'm gonna treat him just like I treat anybody else. He's gonna get to work, So I'm that competitive, man. Everybody get the same treatment,
So I take it you blocked your nephew's shots, a few times when he was, toddler.
He'll be all right.
He's tough, right?
He's in 8th grade. He's killing middle school basketball now. He can go to 8th grade. So I tell you, adversity builds character.
Right now, of course, another one of your nephews is Davian Thompson. Man, what was it like, being able to watch him for Rosewood do what he did?
Jai's good, man. He's really good. Good ball player, great kid. I was impressed how he finished up his last 2 years at Rosewood. he grew a lot, So and they had really good teams, man. They used him well. They put him in the right situations, and he succeeded on both sides of the ball out there and on special teams. So I was impressed with how good he played the last 2 years and how Coach Britt used him and everything.
How good was it to see how much success, teams throughout Wayne County had? I mean, I believe you had 4 teams make the playoffs last year.
Yeah, man. Wayne County got some great coaches though. Like there's some really, really good coaches in Wayne County, um, and they're great guys as well. And every single one of them I met, um, they're good for the kids. The kids that play for them and that don't, they all love them. And I've never heard anything bad about any of these guys. So I could tell that everybody is here for the long haul too. I don't think anybody here is like as like a stepping stone job. I think everybody that's in Wayne County wants to be in where they are, and we all enjoy the community. So I like all those guys, man. They do a great job in their programs. I talk to them any day except for game day, so I ain't worried.
Speaking of coaching, who are some of the people who inspired you into coaching football?
Coaching football, I had to say, well, coaching period. My entire family of coaches. Everybody, I think just about coaches. My dad, he was a player, ended up coaching, little league stuff like that. So growing up, I always played for him. Then in high school, I had Coach Ferguson, Donnell Ferguson. He coached us probably from 7 and 8 baseball. He was my varsity defensive coordinator. You know what I mean? So I've been around him pretty much all my life. So he was a great coach for me. My aunt, she coached basketball and volleyball and softball at Hope County for a long time. So everybody in my family, my uncle is the boys basketball coach at Red Spring. Like everybody, they coach ball, So yeah, that's pretty much my rite of passage, I guess you would say.
And you
Right.
you are a Red Springs alum, right?
Yeah, I graduated from Red Springs. Yep.
Right.
Down there in the country.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love it.
what has it been like, being able to break into coaching at such a young age? I think because I don't think most people know this about you, but you're not even 30 yet.
Nah, I'm 27, I think. I don't know. I can't keep up with it.
Hey, I still say I'm 23. I'm 25.
Yeah,
I'm 24. It's
27,
my
man.
over year.
Oh yeah, y'all shoot. I thought I was young. Y'all was younger than me.
So,
Go ahead.
so what is it like, being able to, what was it like trying to break in at such a young age? And now, I mean, you've been a head varsity football coach for 2 years now.
Honestly, every year I've coached in my short career is taking a step up. Um, my first year coaching, I was at Hillside High School in Durham while I was in Durham at the Central. And I coached for Antonio King, which, like you said, influences. He's probably one of my biggest influences because he was the first person to give me a chance. Um, and honestly, I know those guys probably laugh when they find out I was like a head coach. They probably laugh when they found I was an offensive coordinator because when I was in the room with that staff, I was quiet. When you're in the room with a coach like Coach King who won an undefeated state champion, you sit down and be quiet. You listen. You know what I mean? Like, so when I was around that staff, man, I just was soaking everything in. I'm listening and I'm learning everything that I can about the game of football. I know how to play, but it's a whole difference when you try to learn how to coach. So Coach King, he gave me a chance, and then I left there and I became the offensive coordinator for Maurice Huey in East Columbus. The 1 year he was at East Columbus. And I originally didn't go there to be offensive coordinator. I just went to be on the staff and kind of got thrown in the fire. Just, I'm giving him suggestions stuff. He was like, man, you know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing, And he gave me a chance to be an OC, which that helped me out because I ended up coming to Goldsboro. Goldsboro had a PE position open. I knew playing against Goldsboro High School, Jan was in school, Andre Montgomery, Freddie Jones, those guys. I remember those guys from high school. And I was like, I know Goldsboro got athletes. You know, I'm like, that's a spot that you want to be around, you know. So Coach James, he hired me here. And we kind of went from there, you know.
Right. Do you feel like, your age being at a school like Goldsboro is, a help for you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, I'm very with me and the kids. I can relate to them, so I think that helps a lot. And coaching under Coach James for that 1 year with his experience and watching how he disciplined and run his program, that was big for me as well. Because a lot of people don't know it until you become a head coach. It's a complete difference between assistant coach and head coach, and not just the work, just how the kids view it. I was that assistant coach. When they get pissed off at Coach James, they come to me like, "Hey, coach, he's tripping," you know. But now when you're the head guy, they saying that I'm tripping. You know what I mean? They can't come to me no more. So it's like they look at you a little different. Because you're the head guy now. So like before, it's like, coach, tell me ease off a little bit, or they just come and get to you. When you're assistant coach, when you're the head coach, you the big bad wolf. So they kind of look at you a little with a little side eye. So I try to keep that relationship with them, but also they know like when business is business, So we try to get that done.
Who was the class clown on your team this year?
The clown, Jaquez and JB. I mean, I think everybody knows that those two guys they're clowns all day long. But Isaiah Gray was the energy, man. He was the heartbeat. Like, I don't know if you guys ever realized when y'all was on the sideline and stuff, he never stops talking in the game, like ever, ever. Like I hear him all game long talking about something. He don't even be on the play. He run across the field dapping people up. I'm like, what are you doing, Isaiah? Like, but he was the heartbeat, man. He kept the energy going. So I'm gonna miss all those guys for real.
And of course, Keith is going to play at St. Augustine's.
Yeah.
Very well deserved. That kid's gonna.
Isaiah is too as well, right?
Yeah, Isaiah is too.
Yes.
Isaiah's going to St.
I'm
Augustine.
about to say because you have 4 kids going to St. Aug, right?
Yeah, the twins, Isaiah and Jaquez. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. I mean, so what is it like, for you now to have to replace, a bunch of senior leadership? Those all 4 guys were some workhorses for you.
Yeah, we're not graduating a lot of kids in numbers, but we're graduating a lot of production. I think we're graduating like 8 or 9 seniors, but everybody contribute heavily to our success. But I think this rising senior class, they're really good as well, and they're very close knit, and they work hard for the most part. High school, you're gonna have high school kids be high school kids, but a lot of these kids, they really want it. They really want to be better, and they really want to get coached up. So that's what I like about this upcoming group is that they really enjoy the coaching, and they really enjoy the working. They like to work hard. So that's all I can ask from them, really.
Right now, we talked a little bit about you being an intern earlier. What was that process like? When you go from, hey, I'm just got to the school to a couple of years ago, and now boom, a couple of days before the season, I'm the head coach, preparing to go play.
It's crazy because a lot of people don't realize it, but when I first got to Goldsboro, I wasn't even like on the paid staff, what I mean? Like
Right.
Coach James had his staff already when I got here. So when I came in to coach, it was just like I like being around ball. I like these kids. I want to help out, and it went from technically volunteer coaching, I guess you say, to head coach in a couple months. So it was kind of, it was a big turn. But like I said, I credit a lot to Coach James and that staff. It was a lot of knowledge on that staff. Coach Barnett was on the staff. You know, Coach James, Coach Charles Lane, who's been coaching in Goldsboro forever. You know, it was a lot of people on that staff that were very knowledgeable and they were good coaches. And then, like I said, I just sat back and listened and soaked in everything I could. Um, and Coach James, he really prepared me for being the head coach here. So I was ready whenever they did give me the job.
Right. What was it like? What would you say was probably the biggest? Oh, I'm the head coach moment.
Um,
Good question, Kyle. I want to know this
that
too.
is a good question because it was kind of like a adjustment period because there was a period there where we didn't know if Coach James was coming back or he wasn't coming back. But the kids still needed to be worked out. You know, they still needed to spring practice. They still needed summer workouts and stuff. So myself, Coach Barnhurst, and Coach Diggins, and the rest of my staff, you know, we continued on with that. And then, like you said, a couple days before the official season started, I got the job. I think the first moment of I'm the head coach was probably when we kicked off against Hopton. And, you know, they on game day, they're looking at me like, what we're supposed to do. You know, everybody's looking at me like, what's the schedule? What we got going? I'm like, oh, okay, like that's my job now. You know, I'm used to being like, hey guys, let's go out and stretch. You know, the coach is asking me, hey coach, you got the schedule? I'm like, yeah, I got it. And I'm like, dang, I got to do all this stuff now. You know, making sure everything is ready for the game and all that. I was like, okay, like I get it. This the job. I got you now. You know.
Right. I remember asking Coach Wilson that, and he was just like, when because they redid their weight room, and he was just like, and they came and asked him, so hey, where do you want to move the weight room to? And he was just like, no. And he was like, oh, that's my job.
Yeah. When people start asking you like the logistic questions, it's like, hold on, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think about all that stuff before. I just want to coach football, you know. But all that stuff is a part of the job, you know. Ordering helmets and all this good stuff, you know. That's the job.
I want to go back to that 2019 season. Was that the game against Benningfield, was that a game that kind of turned it around after like you like were trying to figure yourselves out after that injury to Jamin?
Um, I think that Friday when it got rained out, I think the energy just carried over, and like I said, everything is adversity builds character. So we knew how to play on Saturday because we did against Newburgh and we didn't play well. Kind of, you know, I knew that would be a different situation for Bedingfield. So like I told the guys Friday when we left and it got rained down, I'm like, we've been here before. You know, we've done this before. We know how to address it. So I think we came out with a little bit more energy than Bedingfield did because kind of like we did against Newburgh. We came out really flat that Saturday, you know. And that happens, you know, when you're in a different situation. Um, so I think with our guys, they were jacked up for that Friday night, man. Like in the weight room, they were ready. You know, when they started getting rained out and lightning and stuff, they were ready for the game. I think the energy just carried over Saturday when we played. So they played really well against that Battlefield game. They played really good.
That was the game that Jarquez hit that 83-yard slant.
Yeah, I think he had 2 catches for 2 touchdowns. It was like,
Yeah.
like it was crazy.
If you see that highlight video, I think I had pretty good commentary on all like just about all those touchdowns. So just so everyone can check that out on YouTube. But that was just a crazy game.
Yeah, it's like as soon as he caught it, man, I don't know what type of gear he went into, but he outran like 7 guys that all had angles on them. I'm like, this kid's fast.
Yo, I was just like, okay, there he goes. That's it.
Yeah, he got there in the hair.
Also,
he definitely got there in the hair, man.
Also, the one thing I remember about that game was how great you guys were on special teams because Bedingfield had scored that touchdown, and then Next play, kickoff return TD, back the other way,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
block
yeah,
field goal return. And
yeah,
it was really well done.
yeah, yeah. Because the second half we didn't really get to get on offense because special teams and was scoring. Like you
Yeah.
said, Justin Taylor took the kick return back, and then Zaire took the block field goal back for a touchdown. And it was just like them guys, they was feeling it, man. They was rolling. So it was a real good. It was a real good day. It was a pretty day to play football too. So we might need to change our games to Saturday.
Hey, I'm in favor of some Saturday.
I'm here for it.
I think I'm the only person who's been leading the charge for, let's get a couple games on Saturday. Let's do some games on Saturday, that way we can get to more games, rather than everything being Friday.
Good feel, man.
Yeah,
Good
there is
feel,
one positive, yes. I agree with that, yes.
Play the whole game under some sunlight,
Right.
It was good. It was a good day.
Yeah. I think some good spring football. It's always a good vibe on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what is it like? You are probably in the toughest football conference in the 2A. What is it like? Every single week having to deal with basically some of the best programs in the state every single week.
For one, we not only do we play some of the best players in the state in 2A, I think we got probably the best coaches that I know in 2A football, like Will Clark, Corey Johnson, Mark Zinger. Then you got Battle Holly, Corey Barnes at Midway. All those guys are really, really good coaches. So not only do you have to worry about playing against some good athletes, that the team that you're playing are going to be very well coached and ready for you as well. You know what I mean? So
right.
It's tough. It's tough playing in the conference, but we enjoy it. We enjoy embracing the competition, and it's a conference where you never know on the bus ride back who's won and lost. We always look on the way back like, who won between James Kennedy and so who won between me. You never know who's gonna win those games. It's not like some conference like, I know so and so gonna win. Like, nah, you never know in this conference. Anybody can win on any given day, man, because they're really good ball players and they're great coaches. I enjoy it. I learn a lot from those guys, coaching against them, and I think they all do really good with their programs.
Yeah, I was getting ready to lead towards those programs. I mean, Clinton had a great season this year. Wallace Rosell's got a history of winning. East Duplin's got great coaching staff, like you said. I mean, the East Central's a really, really good conference. It's like from top to bottom.
Yeah, I mean, Battle Holly, he's been coaching, he's been around great coaching all of his life, I mean, Coach Monzinga, he's won a lot before he even got to Wallace, and then he inherited a state championship Wallace team, his first year there. Will Clark has won state championships as a coordinator. I think he won as an offensive coordinator. So all those guys are really good. Corey Johnson, he's been in Scotland. So he's coached. He's been a coordinator, state championship, high caliber team. So they're good. They're all really good coaches. And Midway, they've turned it around the last 2 years under Corey Barnes. Like they've been really good. So I think all those coaches do really good with the programs, and they take what they got and they make the best of it. So we trying to keep up with the Joneses over there. Those boys pretty good.
Honestly, it says a lot about you, Coach Ray, that you can make the playoffs in the situation you're in back-to-back years in that conference. I think it says a lot about you as a head coach as well.
Nah, any coach got to have good players. And like first day I walked in at Goldsboro, I think they were coming off the 0-11 season my first year, and like I see like 6'2" receivers on the field throwing around, and Brody was the quarterback then, and I see him throwing. I'm like, who are these kids? Then I see Xavier Bowden, and I'm like, oh, this team is pretty good. I'm not going to say no to this job. They got some pretty good guys around here, you know. And you see offensive linemen 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". I'm like, you can win around here, you know. But it's just gotta shock the culture first, you know. You gotta address implement your culture here first, and then the athleticism stuff that takes care of itself, really.
Gotcha.
Right. So moving on a little bit from football, of course, Tim Ray, the baseball player, man. We have found out that you actually got a chance to play college baseball, correct?
Yeah. I don't know why most people automatically think that I'm a football guy. You know what I mean? Which I am a football guy. I had football opportunities, but I've always been a baseball player all my life. Yeah, I went to North Carolina Central to play baseball. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And you were. I know obviously the spring sports season cut short, but you were at every Goldsboro baseball game too, right?
Yeah, this is my first year not coaching baseball. I coached track this year with Coach Barhurst. Just because majority of my football team was the track team, like it
Yeah.
is the track team. So I want to be around my guys. But this is my first year not coaching. This is my first year in my life not even being on the baseball field. You know, I believe with either a player or a coach. I've always been on the baseball field every year. So um, I really went out and supported those guys because I I like baseball. You know what I'm saying? I love
Right.
baseball.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those guys were really good, man. Those seniors, I hate that they got their season cut short. Those three seniors that Goldsboro had this year, they were big in the
Torian.
turnaround of the program. Torian, Josh, and Matthew, they
Yeah.
were huge in the turnaround of the
Josh
Goldsboro
is gonna
baseball
be great in
program.
college.
Oh yeah, all three of them are really good ball players. They're great at what
Yeah.
they do. Um, like Josh is a great pitcher. He's a great athlete. Matthew, he's one of those baseball players. He don't do any wrong. He's not going to strike out. He's not going to make errors in the field. He's going to make contact with the ball. You know,
Exactly.
he's very, very fundamentally sound. The Torian is super raw. You know, fast. He throws the ball really hard. Um, he's a really good athlete. I wish I could have got him to throw that pigskin around a little bit, but he wouldn't.
But I believe Goldsboro. It really stinks for Goldsboro because they were off to their best start in school history, I think, in baseball. Weren't
Yeah,
they?
what were they, 4-0, 4-1, something like
Four,
that?
yeah, 4 or 5-0.
Something
I,
like that.
I was happy I got to catch them against News Charter early in the year. It was a real good game because News Charter played hard, but Notorian hit that triple and it changed the entire game. Yeah, I thought he was
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. I told him he was. It was funny because he's in my weightlifting class and he was late for school that day and he missed bench. And I told him if he'd have benched that day, he'd have hit it out. So, so yeah, I kind of was messing with him. Cause we had already got through bench by the time we got there, and I said, man, you know, you missed those sets today. That was the difference between you hitting it out and hitting the fix. So yeah, me and him joke about that a lot.
Right. So what is it about baseball that you just there's attracts you to it?
Well, my dad played college baseball at Shaw, and so growing up, it was kind of like, and in Red Springs, it's not much to do there. So you play sports, really. I mean, my grandma stays right across the street from the park. You literally can hear the high school baseball field on her porch. Like we were just talking about a couple of days ago. She would listen to the announcer like make when people make hit a double, single, whatever. She was on the porch and just listen to the baseball game. That's how close she stayed. So I've always been around it. And like I said, everybody in the town literally girl or boy, you play baseball for DCU until you're at least 8 or 9 years old. You play a few years of DCU. It's almost mandatory in that town, and if you're good, you continue to play, and you build.
Right, too. So, of course, Red Springs football was also really good this year. What was it like? Also, getting to see them, have the success they had.
I was proud of those guys. Two of my cousins on the coaching staff. We all graduated together, so and we always been close. We played football together, So I was always in the know of kind of what was going on. 'Cause we always talking ball, and that's home. So I love to watch them succeed. And they had some really good athletes too. So I was proud of them, man. They did really good. I actually went to the West Craven game in the playoffs when they lost.
Right, I remember because I was taking Red Springs, and you were like, I don't know. West Craven kind of tough.
Yeah, West Craven was
Hey,
good, man. They were
yeah,
pretty
they just went
good.
under the radar all year, pretty much, and they ended up winning the conference on a goal line stand. And I say stand because it was kind of a controversial if it was in or not, and if the guy reached the break the plane and all that. Yeah, but yeah, it seemed like West Craven went really under the radar again, and they're a great program with another great coaching staff. So,
Yeah, they got really good athletes out there, man. They
oh
really
yes,
good.
I saw them
And
against Kinston playoffs.
Red Springs thing is that they're power, 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 power. In that conference, they're not gonna try to outrun you. They're gonna try to run you over. And you got teams over here in the East like us and Kinston and West Craven. We thrive off of speed. So it's a different ball game. When you play against those type of teams, and that's why I'm trying to tell my cousin now. I said, man, these boys in the East, they're fast.
Yeah.
You might run them over, but they're gonna run by you. So you better be ready. So that kind of was the game with West Craven.
So you're saying that they're an offensive line coach's dream down there in Red Springs.
Oh yeah, my cousin is the offensive line coach. They got a kid who's going to be big D1. He's going to be big D1. I promise.
All right. So when you look at it, who are some teams, football wise, who you're like, man, I'd love this. I'd love to face that team.
Um, Honestly, teams around here that we don't play, that I would love to play, like Kingston, Green Central. I like to play all of those guys. Not only because they got great coaches, but the players, they're very similar to our players. They all know each other through social media and stuff.
Yeah,
So I love to play those guys. Um, and especially all the stories I hear of how the games used to be against those teams. I've never experienced it here in Goldsboro, so I would love to play guys like that. Honestly.
Right. I mean, heck, in a couple of years, that could be your conference.
Yeah, yeah. I honestly think that might be what it goes to. If it don't, it'll surprise me. It will surprise me if we stay in this conference. I'll be honest. It'll surprise me. Cause we're the only Wayne County team that's playing football in there right now. With the Sampson and Duplin County schools.
Right.
yeah.
I mean, could you imagine how crazy a game would be if, you and Eastern Wayne are facing off for the conference title game in the
Yeah,
last week of the
yeah,
season?
yeah. That'd be one for sure.
That'd be standing
That
room
that
out there.
that that'd be like your boy Wilson said. That's Central A&T vibes there for real. Central A&T. I think for about 3 years straight, they played the last game of the year for the conference, or at least a
Yep,
share of the conference. So
exactly.
that'll be those type of vibes. I believe. I might have to get the food truck up here and make us a little money, find some fish or something.
All
Do not
right.
get no
So,
complaints from me on that.
when you look at it for football right now, obviously you're not getting a chance to go through spring ball. How much do you think that's going to affect your program, right now?
Right now, what we're doing is I'm just staying in contact with them. At least I try to talk. Not try. I do. I talk to some of my players every day. Some of them I talk to them every day anyway. Not even about football, but one thing we're trying to do is like really keep them involved physically, mentally, they got the playbook and stuff, so they're getting a lot of mental reps in. Um, and the thing is, it's not really different. Only difference is we're not there to correct or to teach. But like I told the guys, I'm like, man, we can't teach you anything new, really, but you definitely can correct some of the things that we did wrong before. That's already in, and that's what we've been doing a lot of is trying to perfect what we already know and perfect the craft that we got now, and staying physically active. So whenever we do get a chance to get back, we're able to hit the ground running.
Right. Do you think that this could possibly be, an opportunity for some teams to have a comeuppance? I mean, because you don't have some of the teams being able to get into the spring ball, and for some teams, that is where they work a lot of their kinks out versus a lot of other teams who, hey, it's pretty much par for the course for them. Because I know a lot of the smaller schools, really can't do a spring ball because otherwise they couldn't have other sports.
Yeah, yeah, and I think for like you said, like a lot of smaller schools, especially when they two-way schools, they're just really getting to get spring ball and stuff. Like most football programs are used to not getting any football till the summer anyway. So there's a few football programs that haven't missed anything that they regularly wouldn't be doing anyway, other than lifting, really. Um, so I think that's like the biggest thing that's probably hurting all programs more so than anything is it's the physical thing like lifting weights. It's cool to do body weight stuff, but that resistance, you need that resistance. You know what I mean? Like, and it's going to be interesting to tell in the fall um, with the bodies. Seeing if anybody's body changes and how they take that beating that required in football. Your body takes a beating in this game, especially when you're playing 13, 14 games in a year. Um, your body takes that beating, and it's going to be interesting to see, especially with a lot of people not lifting weights, how everybody responds.
Right. Do you think that for some, when you look at a lot of the really physical programs who require, a lot of beating, do you think that their players are maybe going to be in a little bit of a disadvantage because of that?
Yeah, what I honestly think is going to happen is I think that a lot of these schools are going to end up having to really coach football. I mean, like this season's going to be really about coaching, because these players, we have to treat them responsible enough to do do what we ask them to do. But when it comes down to it, if you're not there to coach and you can't hold them accountable, it's going to be different. So I think those bigger schools that might have to replace a lot of people, or any school that got to replace a lot of people, I think it's going to kind of struggle. But if you got guys that's coming back in your program and stuff, and if you got a really good JV program that kind of runs the same thing, and y'all are on one accord, I think it'd be smoother for those programs. But as far as like you said, the teams that requires a lot of lifting and power, it's just going to be trusting your kids to do what they're supposed to be doing really at this time.
Right. So let's put a scenario here that we're looking at. Phase three would probably be off around mid July. Coach Wilson talked about this a little bit on our podcast 2 episodes ago. How do you think how do you think it would be for you to try and prepare a team to get ready, for a game in 3 or 4 weeks?
It's going to be interesting. If we're not able to do anything until late July or August, I don't see how we'll be able to start on time. You need about 6 weeks to prepare for some football. I mean, that's just me personally how I look at it. You need about 6 weeks to really prepare your body to play a football game. Um, Anything less than that, I don't think you're fully prepared, to be honest. Um, and I just pray that everybody is healthy this season. I really do.
When you look at it too, let's say even because there will be times where during these phases, I believe, where you can have gatherings of 10 or more or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, how beneficial would you say for it to be if you had to work out players in, like, say, 10-player sessions? How do you think that could be a successful model for possibly?
Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely do because any contact with your kids, and your coaching staff is going to be positive. You know what I mean? Especially at this time. Um, my coach is literally texting me at least once a week, like, Coach, have you heard anything? Have you heard anything? Where can we go? Everybody's itching. So even if we're able to get 10 guys, that'll scratch that itch a little bit, and really see where the enthusiasm is, because I think that our guys are going to be really, really enthusiastic when it's time to get back on the field. I promise.
What is your schedule looking like for the 2020 season? If it were to start on time, is it looking the same as it was last year, just with different locations? And who are
Yeah,
some of your non-conference?
yeah. We just flip locations from last year's season. So we host New Bern first game. We'll host East Wayne. Then we have Southern Wayne and Acock away, and then we will go no Acock, Southern Wayne. They're both away. Then we have West over here, and then we'll go to Battlefield, and that'll be our non-conference schedule.
Yeah.
So we play some really good teams. All 3 and 4. The only two-way school that we play is Battlefield, and they're a really good two-way team. So we play some pretty good teams in non-conference.
Absolutely.
Right. And then also too, going back just a little bit, do you think that the state should regulate the summer workouts, or do you think that they should, kind of just allow it to be school system by school system?
What you mean by that?
Well, I mean, because every school system has done different things educational wise, of how they're handling the
Mhm.
coronavirus. So, do you think that it should be, schools decide whether their coaches can or cannot based on what the government's telling them, or do you think the NCHSAA should, just go ahead and make the letter of the law pretty much?
Um, I think preferably we would want the High School Athletic Association too, but just knowing, I think they would keep it broad, and kind of just so they can stay on the safe side. You know, they not be the bad guys. They let the counties be the bad guys. The districts be shut it down. You know what I mean? Yeah, I
Right.
think that's what it probably end up happening. But I wish the athletic association would just say, look, this is what's going to happen, and this is how we're going to do it, whatever that may be. Um, like I was telling somebody earlier, no matter what this season is, it's going to be different. No matter how it goes, it's going to be very different than what we're used to. So we might as well go ahead and start getting ready, mentally ready for an adjustment either way.
Right. And I mean, there's a lot of people, who believe that, this has kind of been somewhat of, overkill in some ways. But do you lean more towards the fact that there should be a little bit of overkill, or just to be safe, or do you think that, right now, we're doing what should be necessary?
I think it's necessary at the moment, just because we haven't seen a lot of decrease. You know, I think once it's like a significant decrease in numbers, and I think once it start getting a handle on things, that it can open up. Me personally, I'm ready. I can't sit around the house like I'm in the weight room right now. Like
Yeah.
I can't sit in the house. I can't do it. It's driving me crazy. But I'm ready to get back started. But I think it's a necessary evil, to be honest. I do.
I believe with everything Governor Roy Cooper has said about the phases of reopening, obviously it seems that phase one is starting this Friday.
Friday, right? Yeah.
And but from what I've seen about his phases, I think that by May 22nd is the earliest we can enter phase two of gathering, which will it's not gonna like fully open, but it'll be more open.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like if I had to, I feel like July is a good ETA, like Kai mentioned earlier. I feel like July is probably the earliest that there will be like no restrictions on anything anymore. So,
Yeah,
but
and
we'll see.
honestly, the thing that probably even when they do open it up, how many parents are going to say, "Nah, I don't want you out there, at football, da da da, or soccer, whatever." You know, I think that's going to be a concern as well. So all those things going to have to be taken into account when it comes to whenever we are able to do whatever,
Yeah,
because I'm sure there are going to be some parents, and as they should, if that's how they feel, kind of skeptical of sending their child out and you know into into the public, I guess you say.
yeah, exactly. I'm, I am hoping that this all gets settled, but we have to be patient. Obviously, this has been like the ultimate test in patience, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's been good, but it's getting long now. So yeah.
Yeah.
So what has been the new thing that you've picked up during the coronavirus?
Honestly, I moved, so it's been good because I got a chance to actually move out of my old house into my new house and everything, and I've been able to play around out there and stuff. My girlfriend had me building a garden, so I've been to Lowe's like it's the mall a couple times. I've been to Lowe's about every week. I feel like uh, doing something. So and then I grill a lot anyway. So I grill probably 4 or 5 days a week anyway. But I've been able to really do that a lot now. So.
I'm surprised Jay hasn't challenged to a grill
Hey,
off.
look, I look at all the coaches post their stuff, man. I kind of laugh a little bit, but I ain't gonna say it.
Oh, that's what we like to see on this show. We need the beef. Let's go.
Nah, they good, they good, man. Some of them are good, but I don't like to post. I don't like to post a whole lot of food and stuff like that. But
I
anytime
like to
anybody
keep your
wanna,
stuff on the low, like the good stuff, like just on the hush.
yeah, 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 yeah. Anytime anybody want to taste any of my food, they can. Though I ain't got no problem with that. I ain't got no problem with that.
What is it like? Being a part of the coaching fraternity. How fun is that?
It's fun, man, because a lot of these guys, all I ain't gonna say all, but there's two or three different type of coaches you got in high school football, and everybody gels well, and it's fun. It's fun. Uh, oh, somebody's calling.
Oh, oh no. Oh, we haven't lost Coach Ray. Have we?
No, I think I still see him over here.
Can y'all
Oh,
see
okay.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we got
Okay.
you. We've had some technical difficulties the last few episodes, so we apologize for that. But it's I don't think it's not Coach Ray's fault. It's just for some reason every time I'm like on my screen and I see it in his screen. Well, not anymore, but his screen was
Yeah.
frozen for a few seconds. But
Yeah.
it's all good. It's all good. But we definitely uh, we definitely all want everyone to be safe through all this craziness that has been the last several months. But hopefully we can get back out and we do need that grill off. That's all I'm gonna say. We need. I think the
Yeah.
winner will be the taste testers. That's like I'll be a taste tester. So
Hey, that's fine with me. Like I said, I'm always down. I'm always down anytime. So
The
just let me
the
know
gauntlet
when.
has been thrown.
But but the coaching fraternity, man, it's fun being around these guys because they're all great guys personally. Uh, so when you get to see them in the off season and stuff, and you really get to sit down and talk to them about coaching philosophies, discipline, how they discipline the kids and how they run their structure and implement their program. It's good to hear some of these guys, and I support anybody that's doing something well for the community and doing something good with these kids. Because everybody needs someone to look up to, and most people look up to their coaches. And I
Yeah,
think a lot of these coaches are really good guys to look up to. I
absolutely.
even look up to some of these guys personally. So I love being a coach, man. I really do.
Which coach was probably the most surprisingly social for you?
Uh, Battle Holler. Battle Holler. He's
Ooh,
su-
that's
he's such a
interesting.
sick. He's such a serious guy, man. But then you see him outside of football. It's like, I was like, I didn't know he talk. It's always like he's thinking of 3 plays ahead of time in his head during the game. But when it comes down to it in the game, outside of football, man, he's all the coaches in the conference, man. They got that game face. All coaches do. So uh, I enjoy it, though. Me, Coach Barnett. I love being around Coach Barnett. I like Coach Willis a lot too, man. I love being around him. Those good guys, man. Uh, Coach Geese over there at Kingston, he's a good guy too. All these guys around here in this area, really good guys. So.
Yeah, Coach Barnett, I love being around him when I was shooting the building blocks because man, he gave some great quotables.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, man. He gets jacked up. He's a quiet coach. He's a teacher. A lot of us are like PE teachers stuff, but he's a real teacher. And you can tell by the way he teaches football. When he gets jacked up, man, he puts a fire up on you a little bit. It was first time I seen him get jacked up. I think it was a JV practice, and I was like, "Oh, I ain't know you had it in you, coach." But he's a great guy, man. I enjoy being around him too a lot.
right. So, of course, you can't talk about Goldsboro without talking about the basketball.
Oh
So,
yeah, oh yeah.
what has it been like, being able to see the success the basketball team has been able to have, in the time that you've been there?
Um, One thing that I'm gonna do as a coach, and I'm gonna support my kid. So I'm at like every basketball game. Um, And like you said, granted, it's a good thing that we're good, so I enjoy watching this play. But even so, I'm going to support them anyway. I'm gonna support my kids that's in my class. I'm gonna support the kids that play for me. So I enjoy being in those games. And Coach Croom, that's my boy. Me and Croom, he came in a year. He came to Goldsboro a year before me, so we kind of been here around the same time. And we both colleagues in the PE department. So we work together literally all day, every day. So that's my boy, and we talk ball all day. He tell me stuff about football, I tell him stuff about basketball, and we go like that. But Coach Crow, he do a great job with that basketball program, man. They're really good.
Right. Then too, one of the players who was actually mostly known for his basketball, Christian Bullock, played for you this year. What was it like? How important do you think him playing football was to his success that he had on the court this year?
Well, the year before I got here, Christian played football his freshman year.
Right.
And they moved him up to varsity. I think he had some bad experience. He was just young, playing against some high level kids and like Kingston, Green Central. You know what I mean? Ada Griffin. He's playing against a really good conference as a freshman, and I think it kind of wavered him a little bit from playing football. He focused on basketball. Then of course, he had the injuries also, so that kind of played into it. But I think this was the first year that he was willing and able to play football, and he's always in my weightlifting class every semester. So we lift. I lift with. He's one of the kids I like to lift with. So I think we kind of build a relationship in the weight room, and once he starts seeing what the weight room will do to his body and how he feels, and especially when he's recovering from his injury, and we kind of built our relationship from there.
Right. Which player on the basketball team did you most recruited to play football this year?
For this year or last year?
Both.
Either one works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Who I wanted to play the most? Zay Atkinson. I think he's good for about 8 jump ball touchdowns for me, so I definitely can use those. I told him he won't have to go inside the numbers, man. He catch the ball, just pull off to the sideline, man. I won't never send him inside the numbers. I won't ever send him inside the numbers, man. But I think DeMaj is going to try to play football. He's a really good athlete. I know he played football before he came to Goldsboro. And he's a sophomore, so I think he'll be a good addition if we got him. But Goldsboro got so many good athletes, man, and we got to share them all. So I think we share all the athletes here, man. I think everybody has a lot of success, to be honest. Everyone.
All right. So, Liker, you got any more questions?
I think that's a great place to stop. Coach Tim Ray, man, thank you so much for joining us.
Man, ain't no problem, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being with you guys. That was cool.
Oh yeah.
Where can they find you on social media, Coach?
I don't know what my Twitter name is.
I'm about to say, Coach Ray really don't beef for the socials.
Yeah. Well, it'll be included in the anchor description, okay?
Yeah. I think it's Coach T Ray or something like that. I just use it just to keep up and see what's going on around.
Yeah. Coach Ray is one of the cliche, Eastern North Carolina football coaches. He just retweets coach quotes.
I know Goldsboro football got one, even though it's not really active. It's like Goldsboro F ball or something.
Yeah, Goldsboro F ball. Yeah.
So yeah, all right, that'll work. You know where to find Kai and myself, of course. The Just Like Brothers podcast is on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and countless other podcast networks. And continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're almost at our goal of 1,000 subs in 1 year. That's what Kai and I set out to. That was our goal when we started this. So we would appreciate everybody if you continue to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications on videos. And of course, if you're listening on Anchor as well, thank you so much. But Kai, I think that's a good place to stop. 48 episodes down, huh?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Coach Ray, again, man.
Oh yeah, hey man, I appreciate everything you guys do for the community. Like this area, we need something like what you guys do, and y'all do a great job at it. I'm serious, man. I got another friend in Pennsylvania who has a podcast, and I kind of send him y'all stuff as a little point of emphasis. Like, hey, this is what these guys doing out here, man. You better step it up. You better step it up, man. But hey, y'all do a great job. I'm serious, man. We appreciate it here.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.